The principle of similarity is a Gestalt principle. In other words, it describes how people visually perceive the world. This Gestalt principle states that items which share a visual characteristic are perceived as more related than items that are dissimilar. Basically, that means that when items share a visual characteristic, people assume that those items are related in some way. The characteristics that items share could be color, shape, size, font, orientation, or even movement. It just has to be a visual trait. Let's look at some shapes to see how the principle of similarity applies in these traits. I'm willing to bet that when you see these shapes on the screen, you're interpreting them as 4 distinct columns instead of 3 distinct rows. That's likely because each column has a common shape, all circles or all triangles, while each row does not. But let's add some color to see if your perception changes. When I make the middle row of shapes blue, I'm introducing another visual trait into this example. Color tends to be more powerful than the other visual traits, so you might now perceive this as 3 rows instead of 4 columns, because the color similarity is overriding the shape similarity. Even if I scatter the blue color randomly around the shapes instead of putting them in the middle, your eye is still likely to process the blue shapes as a grouping. In interface design, a shared color is often used to communicate a common functionality. For example, all of your links could be a different color than the rest of your static text to show users that the colorful links are clickable while the rest of the text is not. In addition to grouping related items and setting user expectations, understanding the similarity principle allows designers to differentiate items when necessary. For example, on an e-commerce listing page, we might decide to make the promotional element twice as wide as each product thumbnail. This way, we're clearly communicating to users that there's something different about this larger element. It's important to use these visual similarity signifiers, like color, size, and shape, intentionally and consistently throughout your design. That way, people can easily understand what content is related and which elements in your design are interactive.